Hey guys, what's going on? James here, and in this video today, we're going to be talking about the two players that the Buccaneers released to make room for Jace McClellan and Javian Farr, two guys that we talked about earlier today in a video. Now, per Greg Allman, the Buccaneers actually made some pretty interesting decisions here. They waive injured quarterback Michael Pratt, who had not practiced in training camp this year due to a lower back injury. Greg Allman says he hasn't practiced all year. I'll take him at his word on that. And they also released kicker Ryan Coe from the team. Now, I have a lot of thoughts on these two waivings, okay? Firstly, in the case of Ryan Coe, let's get that one out of the way. I don't necessarily know if this is the end of Ryan Coe with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I think that he very well could be brought back on the practice squad. I feel like they just needed to make room for someone at some point. So if Coe doesn't end up on another team, would not surprise me if he ended up on the Bucs practice squad. I do still believe that, okay? Now, in the case of Michael Pratt, this is a very interesting situation because he spent all of last year on the team's practice squad, and the Bucs were very high on Michael Pratt. If you guys remember, there was some conversation that they wanted to draft him at one point whenever he was coming out of the college into the NFL draft. He did end up going to the Green Bay Packers for a little bit. He was a 7th round pick in 2024, but the Bucs were interested. I mean, as soon as he got released by the Packers, the Bucs scooped him up and said, "Hey man, we want you on our practice squad." And if you guys remember, at the beginning of this training camp, there was legitimate conversations between, hey, who's going to be this team's quarterback too? Is it going to be Kyle Trask or is it going to be Michael Pratt? And that was a very legitimate conversation. I do still believe that. Injuries do happen, and Pratt just hasn't been able to practice. Trask has gone out there, has done some stuff in training camp, had a really good first preseason game. The Bucs brought in quarterback Teddy Bridgewater. They have Connor Bazelak, who is a 4th developmental quarterback as well. So, you know, it was just really tough at this point to find a spot for Pratt, right? Now, Greg has a lot of interesting points to make here. Just this spring, guys, the Bucs gave Michael Pratt a $250,000 signing bonus, a sign of their interest in his continued development. I agree with that. Obviously, they brought in some other guys for injury reasons and whatnot. Now, look at this. With Michael Pratt getting waived, the Bucs will have to decide whether to reach an injury settlement or keep him on the injured reserve, presuming he clears waivers for the entire season. If the latter, he signed a split contract, paying him a bit over half of his $960,000 base salary while on IR, would stay under contract for 2026. So the Bucs could kind of stash, if he does clear waivers, they could kind of stash him away to say, hey man, we want you on this IR, we want to continue to grow and develop you. In terms of paying off the injury settlement, I believe that means that he would pretty much become available right away. That would be the Buccaneers saying basically, hey man, thank you for what you've done, but we're going to let you go see if you can find greener pastures. And it would basically be them cutting the tie of saying like, okay, yeah, we've officially moved on from Michael Pratt. It's going to be interesting to see what happens here. I mean, Michael Pratt's probably going to get a say in that as well. If he wants to say, hey man, I don't want to be on the IR, I feel like I can be better here in a week or so, you know, that's going to be a discussion that will be had. So I am very curious. I'm very curious to see what's going to happen with Pratt, if he's going to revert to the IR and the Bucs are going to continue to kind of stash him away for a little bit, or if the Bucs just say, hey, Michael Pratt, we appreciate you. Good luck to greener pastures and things like that. I don't know. Maybe they reach that injury settlement and then bring him back. I don't really know how that works. If you do reach an injury settlement with a player, can you bring him back? I don't know. But again, we talked about this. I talked about this here on the channel whenever Bridgewater was brought in, that this quarterback room was going to be shaken up. You have 4 quarterbacks on the roster right now with Pratt leaving. It's Baker, it's Trask, it's Teddy, and it's Connor Bazelak, right? Great news for a guy like Bazelak. It means like he very much has a legitimate chance to be the team's quarterback on the practice squad if they do carry a quarterback on there. With Teddy, You know, is Teddy basically made the roster at this point? I don't know. That's a pretty legitimate question as well. But again, you know, that Bridgewater effect has some ripple effects here, with Pratt not being able to come back and be healthy either. So what are your thoughts and opinions on Michael Pratt getting waived? What are your thoughts and opinions on Ryan Coe getting waived? Let me know. I'd love to hear it down in the comments section below. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Hope y'all enjoyed. And as always, guys, I'll see you all in the next video or the next live stream. But until then, and as always, guys, goodbye for now, and go Bucs.